Hey, wow. I guess if you're watching any kind of replay of this, I spent the last hour trying to get my live stream set up to work as it normally does, and I was having some struggling, much struggling, which was kind of frustrating. And now I've resorted to just using this most basic of live stream built-in thing that's built right into Google Chrome. So I was gonna do some fancy stream tonight where I was gonna play back episode 5, do some director's commentary, give some advice and stuff. But now it looks like I've been derailed entirely and my whole plan's not gonna work. So instead, I decided I would just hang out. I decided that's a compromise that I'm willing to make. So if you are here, it's great to have you. And I just want to hang out because I'm frustrated with trying to get my other live stream setup going. And yeah, I can't tell you how many times I tried to get this to work. And now I'm just resorting to a regular old hangout. What's up, Gabriel? Good to have you. If you're just coming in, my yeah, my whole setup was not working because I updated my computer to OS Mojave. I upgraded to Mojave, and my whole streaming software is just messed up, which is super unfortunate. So instead of live streaming properly, I only have my camera, and I am not able to do my playback like I'm used to. But basically, I just want to hang out. So I should probably do some work, but instead, I'm gonna hang out with you lot, you people, you friends. I'm yeah, I'm not thrilled with how that all went, but I would love to talk about the subject of how to make passion projects happen. How do you go from not having films that you're proud of to actually making them? What's up? Bunch of people saying hi in the chat. It's great to have you. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I'm really proud of some of the videos I put out. I guess that's last month already. My goodness. In November, I'm really proud of some of the videos I put out. And I was going to do a director's commentary tonight talking about it. But I updated my computer to OS Mojave, and it's been a bit of a nightmare. I shouldn't have done that. I asked on Twitter today, and like 30 people told me to do it. But because I have all this custom stuff going on inside of my install of Mac OS, it's been a bit of a disaster. Thanks everyone that's popping in the chat. It looks like Instagram must have sent out a notification. We got a lot of people hanging out. Wow, I'm thrilled. We got Explorers Life up in the house. What's up? Maurice, Gabriel, Jacob, Ethan, Josiah, Fraser, Josiah again, the Ask Mama channel, Tantrum 006, Owen McKenney, Kevin, Josiah again. Sorry. I guess I could stop reading everything. Isaac's got a question up there, but he says, what do you do when you no longer feel the spark of creating? That happens to me often. I feel I feel like I don't have the spark more than I feel like I do. I would describe having the spark as being in a state of flow where the work becomes effortless and you're just one thing after another and you're motivated and you're driven and it's just going forward and you're making excellent progress. I would call that a state of flow. And I would say for me, that's about 1/5. That might be a bit generous. 1/8 of the time. It's not very frequent for me. I would like to be in a flow state more where I'm making work without having to put as much effort. For me, honestly, when I'm doing my work, especially work for clients, it's tough. It's a real battle. I'm not gonna joke about it. I'm not gonna kid around with this serious topic. Oh geez, I just spit there. Yeah, I don't feel the spark to create often, and it's a constant battle of getting myself to sit down behind the computer and edit videos that I've already shot. I don't know how to do that process better. I think it's a lot easier when it's just videos for myself, but where I get myself into situations is when I have both videos for other people to do and videos for myself. And my theory is when all the videos are done for other people, that I'll have more motivation for videos for myself. But that probably is not the case. So that might just be daydreaming. Kevin says, "Hi, I saw your Instagram post. Hope you're doing better." So what Kevin's talking about, just the other day, yesterday, I checked up a post and I was like, "Hey, this wasn't a great day, and I'm struggling a bit getting stuff done." And yeah, I do that occasionally because I want to keep it real on social media. I don't tend to post often, and so when I do, it's usually positive stuff. And I just don't want the impression to be out there that it's just all fine and dandy and roses. Where I find, for me, the creative process more than half the time feels uh, uncomfortable, feels like I'm not doing well, feels like I'm failing. Uh, and yeah, I don't think we're great at talking about that or being open about it. I guess I don't need to speak for culture as a whole, but me personally, I don't know ways to do that tastefully. And so every now and again, I just kind of like chuck it out there and I say, "Hey, I'm not doing great." And just to keep it real, you know? Uh, how am I? I spoofs. I spoofs. I'm doing well. It's been an interesting couple weeks as I try to both simultaneously wrap up projects that I need to be getting done for other people, and also trying to make progress on projects of my own, so that way I can start with the next stage, which is the van build. Uh, the van build has been on the basically since this time last year. I've been actively trying to do the van build, and I was up against having enough money to do it, and now I'm just up against having everything else done before I can start videoing it well. So we made progress in the sense that I've spent thousands of dollars on parts, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on parts. Some of them which you can see on tables behind me. But the next stage is actually just putting it all together. So I wanted to document this really well. So I'm trying to not skip ahead. Uh, but I have about 8 to 10 videos in the bank already. And so that's what I wanted to come out with swinging in January. But I don't think I'm going to be as on the ball with that because I still have some Slack Life episodes. For everyone that's in live now, basically what I was going to do tonight was I was going to do a live stream director's commentary like I've done in the past with episode 5, which for everyone who watched that, thank you so much. I was thrilled by the response to that episode, and getting that episode done and completed and published is a huge creative victory for me. Someone was just asking, "How is your creative spark?" And getting that video done, that's been on my hard drives for 2 years. Some of you might not have realized that when you were watching it, but that is stuff that I shot 2 years ago. And it has been the biggest creative battle to wrap that up well. And now that I got episode 5 out, that is just incredible for me because it's like I'm closing a chapter that was previous in my life where it was this unfinished thing that I needed to finish. I finally got it done. Yeah, and I could have a lot of excuses for why that happened. On the surface, basically, I was running my production company under the idea that I wanted to be making passion projects alongside my client work. And I made a gamble where when I finished my first film, Untethered, and put that out there, I wanted to follow it up in the next year with something that was just as good, but a web series. And I decided that would be worth it for the business because I was supposed to get paid from Untethered because I sold it to broadcast. And where I got myself into a little bit of a sticky situation is I didn't get paid for over 18 months, I believe. I don't know the exact time frame, but basically it was years before I was actually paid for Untethered. So I was waiting for this big payment to come, and I had spent my own money to get the film ready for broadcast because there's some extra music licensing that needed to happen, and there's basically thousands of dollars to get it ready. So I spent a lot of money doing that, and then I didn't get paid, which was infuriating. And I was told constantly that payment was coming, payment was coming. And so I ended up in the situation where I had started to shoot a web series. I shot it low budget like I do. And I was not getting paid from Untethered. And me and my wife live pretty simply, but I mean, to what end do you just work on stuff that's free? So I was struggling with my old computer setup, just trying to get this web series done, and I wasn't happy with how the episodes were turning out. For those that have been following for a while, you'll know last year I started releasing episode 1 and 2, and I just was not happy with them. So I said, enough for now. I'm going to focus on just running a proper business, so that way I can get my ducks in a row a little bit and save up some cash and get a new computer system. And that was the biggest priority for me, so that way I could come back and get the Slack Life series done without crashing and burning my business. So I had to get my business in order, which meant I just put it on complete pause. So it's supposed to come out last spring, and I didn't start re-releasing it till a year after that. So it was a year late. So when I say 2 years, that's not exactly accurate to my timeline of when I was going to release it. And as you know, this early in January of last year, or January this year, I guess, I upgraded my computer system and proceeded to focus on my business and run a great production company. And that gave me more margin, so I could finally finish Slack Life series episodes 1 through 5, which I shot 2 years ago, which is crazy. But in the meantime, also shot new episodes, because I just keep shooting. That's what I love to do. That's the easiest thing for me to do, is just go out and shoot. And so now I have, I think, 4 more episodes of content in season 1 that I need to get out before I jump into getting the van series, which is like the next big thing, which all those stuffs back there is for. There's a lot of stuffs back there. There's also a lot of stuff in my house. Our house is taken over with van parts and boxes. How long did it take you to narrow down your niche and style? That's a question from Hafey. Hafey. Did I say that right? Haffy? I would say Haffy. Hafey. I don't know. How long did it take? I started filmmaking in 2011. Right off the bat, I was focused on outdoor stuff, and I kind of knew that was something that was important to me, but I wanted to merge good storytelling with outdoor stuff. So it took me another couple years, probably around 2015, where I started to understand that what I was doing was adventure filmmaking, and that's what I wanted to focus in on. And then in 2015, I realized I could make a slackline film. And so I guess one of my big niches is slackline filmmaking. So that was 4 years. Someone just asked, how do you feel about just about to hit 100K? If you haven't watched my latest video, yeah, I guess that's my last video, my last upload. I would go watch that, because I kind of talk about my feelings of success and what it means to me to be someone who's very goal driven, but also terrified of that desire to hit landmarks and goals. So I didn't say right on the nose that what I was addressing was 100K, but it's definitely something that I was thinking about. Oh, I want ice cream too. Josiah, you can't do that to us, man. Jeez. Can I buy you a beer at a local brewery in Abbey and talk to you about a long-term documentary short project? Is it a project that you're working on, or is it a project that I'm not taking on any more projects, John Kiwi? And I know that's probably not what you're asking. Yeah, I'd happily hang out with you. What's the best way to get in touch with me? January. That's the best way. January on Instagram. Shoot me a message. That'd be great. When is your birthday? When is my birthday? In March, and I turn 25. I'm a youngin'. Will you ever be coming to Australia? Sure, if someone brings me there. I don't have a huge cash reserve for international travel. I'm mostly focusing on this continent, so someone would have to bring me out there for a talk or a conference or something. Okay, there's a bunch of questions up here. Renee, thank you for the kind compliment. I really appreciate that. She just said that she thinks that I'm genuine, and I appreciate that. Jeremy, your video with the slackline and the waterfall, were you scared you might film someone dying? Can you explain the motivation to do that without a harness? Is it irresponsible to glorify that? These are great questions, Jeremy. Yeah, obviously I've thought deeply about the topic, and I don't necessarily have an answer that's super clear. I think one thing that I've learned as I've spent more time with this group, particularly, I seriously am not expecting anything like that to happen. Like, that's once, I think that was overwhelming at first when suddenly Spencer was walking a high line without a harness. My body like didn't know how to respond to what I was seeing. But as I spent more time watching the process that these guys goes through to do what they do, I began to understand more how they could be in control of a moment like that and how they can still secure themselves with a harness. So I less see it now as carelessness to the degree where it's like a 50-50 gamble. And I see it more now as they have a lot more control than I thought. But then there's still this margin where, hey, if a mistake happens and the backup doesn't work, then they're going to fall off the high line. And I don't really know where I land on that beyond the fact that I have had to reconcile that they're going to do it regardless if I'm filming or not. I don't know if my videos are going to create more people that do that kind of thing, because it's the type of sport that I don't think you can get into just because you see someone else do it. It's the type of activity, free soloing, where you have to be intrinsically motivated to make it happen. I don't think there's external factors that could push you to do something like that. Like, it's so far beyond what people would do for internet likes or what have you. It's just such a deeply personal activity. So I've at least come to the understanding that I'm not motivating people to do it because they do it when I'm not there. They do it without cameras. And so therefore my assumption is that they're going to keep doing it regardless or not if I document it. And so I may be taking a more of a journalistic standpoint on it, but then again, I'm putting it to epic music and making it look cool. So then there's that. I don't really have a great answer. Do you feel stressed when there are a bunch of questions on your live stream? No, this is great. I love it when there's a bunch of questions because I can just literally look anywhere here and quickly come up with one. Are you a self-taught filmmaker or did you have a mentor? I think I spent a lot of time trying to learn from as many different types of people as I could. And that comes from people that did things not even related to filmmaking, like running restaurants. I used to work at a local hockey rink, and I would cook French fries. And the owner of the company that basically did the catering at the hockey rink was opening a restaurant. And I remember I just asked him so many questions because I was just interested, you know? And at one point he's like, why are you asking all these questions? Like, are you trying to like start your own restaurant? I was like, no, honestly, I have no interest in starting a restaurant, but I'm fascinated about how you're building a business around this. And that's kind of how I've always been, where I love pulling insights from different areas and different people that are running their businesses. I don't think I've had a proper filmmaking mentor until much later. Yeah. So no. And most of the filmmaking mentors are like virtual, where I just watch their videos and I'm like, wow, they're very talented. How was the 368 event? Saw you for a second in Casey's video, and I made my own video at the event. It was great. I was thrilled to be invited. Obviously, it's an interesting, it's interesting having someone that I've looked up to for so long suddenly be aware that I exist through a silly running challenge. And so I'm just grateful for every interaction that I get. And obviously I respect and look up to what he's accomplished, and thrilled that he says he likes what I do. I think that is something that means a lot to me. It's like someone who I've looked up to who then sees what I do and says, "Hey, what you're doing, like good job on that." And saying that to other people in front of me, like that's a really empowering experience. And I'm hopeful that I will be that type of person for other people that are coming up as well, is that I will empower them with my words. That is one thing that I was like just surprised about, because you see someone online and you don't really know how they treat other people until you're there when the cameras are off. And to see Casey be so empowering was really encouraging for me, because obviously you're a little nervous that the person that you look up to is just a jerk. And so my impression of him was anything but that. He's a very focused individual, but also very empowering of those around him. And I think he gets such a kick out of helping other people grow and become better. And that I was just thrilled to be at an event that he was running. Other than YouTube, what's your biggest source of learning? Podcasts. I listen to podcasts and audiobooks probably about 10 hours a week, maybe. Yeah, about 10 hours. I love auditory. Auditory learning is my biggest learning way, if that makes sense. Hey, Scott's in the chat. What's up? Guys, if you haven't yet, go to Scott's channel and watch his videos in general. But he put out a video from a workshop that we did earlier this year in May, a sailing workshop. And he did a fantastic job. And I think you should go watch it because I really like it. And I like Scott. So go do that after the stream. Just kidding. Do it whenever you want. What made you decide to do this live stream today? Well, I've been behind and I've been wanting to get videos out, and I feel a little bad that I haven't been putting out the content that I know that I've been wanting to. Not only because I know that people want to see more from me, but also just because I know I can put it out. And so I'm in this constant battle with myself and my ADHD mind to stay focused and stay on task on things like what I have to do for other people, like my client work. And then it's tough when I'm not making progress on the stuff that's for me and that I want to make for you. And so that's why I decided to do a live stream. I was going to do a director's commentary on episode 5, but my live stream software is all broken. It's just not working, which is frustrating. There's 116 of you. My word, this is fun. Your Zen is strong. Sweet. What do you think about freelance editing? I should have been hiring more freelance editors ages ago. Yep. I don't know. Basically, the way I see it is my biggest value that I create for my clients is how I edit my videos, not how I shoot them. I don't think I'm particularly talented with my shooting style. I think the vision that I'm able to bring to life, both while shooting and then in the editing, is where I create the most value. So in order to have a same end product that's as good, I would need to hire a good editor because I'm a good editor. And so when I edit for other people, I cost a lot. And so in order to hire a good editor, I need to pay a lot. And I don't like doing that because I like keeping the money so that way I can make my own stuff. Because if I keep the money, then it's still with me and then I can spend it how I want to. But that logic falls apart where I could have taken on more projects and made more profit if I had brought in editors that were maybe even a couple tiers down from where I hoped they would be, but brought them up if they had promising talent, which is something I definitely should have done. And it just overwhelms me. And I didn't want to build a business that I had no intentions of running. I filmed a workshop on how to build a filmmaking production company as a team of one or as a small team. And that's going to be coming out in January. And it's all about how to take your business from not having any clients to having great clients. Something that I feel fortunate to have as a reality for me. I get to work with great clients, and I got to this stage through following a process. And I share that process. I shared a process in a workshop that I'm going to show to you. Yeah, basically the workshop's going to be available in January, and it's my guide to how to build a production company that you actually want to run. And a big theme for that for me is just that, making sure that you build a company that you actually want to run. Because I think there's this mindset where you got to build this big thing. And I just know personally, I don't want to be a manager of people. I want to work with a team, but I want to work with a team of collaborators, not people that I have to actively be managing. And so I've done everything I can to make sure I don't end up running a business that is basically just means I'm managing. I don't want to do that. So therefore I haven't hired editors. And yeah, it's tough because maybe I would be closer towards my actual goals if I had. But I don't think I'll ever truly know the answer to that because I've been pretty ruthless with not doing things that I don't want to do, even at the detriment of income. Definitely at the detriment of income. Scott's going full-time in January. Scary but exciting. Yeah, that is scary and exciting. Looking at your office gives me hope that I can film in my office. It's a mess in here, I guess. Yeah, I guess you can see all my stuff. Jeez. I don't know. What time is it? It's 7:30. Best place for unique music. I really like Music Bed because they have a singer-songwriter vibe. Next best place is Epidemic Sound because they have a $15 a month subscription. Next best place is Artlist, in my opinion. Ethan's asking, when/why did you originally get into filmmaking? I know for me, I have been doing it since I was in the 3rd grade. Do you have a similar story? No, I don't. In my family, my older brother was always the artistic one. He was the photographer. He was the artsy musician guy. I was the builder, the tinkerer, the guy who took things apart and put them back together and modified them and broke them. And I've always wanted to work for myself. That was just something that was a priority to me pretty early on. And that meant in my teenage years, I was constantly thinking of, oh, hey, what's a business that I could build? What's a business that I could build? And I remember having fun making visual things. And I remember daydreaming about visual ideas that I could bring to life. And this would have been about, I don't know, the 10th grade or something like that when I was around 14, 15. And I saw some videos that other people were making and I went, I bet I could do that and I bet I could do it well. And so then I decided, hey, maybe I could build a business out of that and enjoy it. And it could be like this perfect combination. Because most of the other things that I had pictured was I'll build a business and then I'll use the income from that business to go do things that I want to do. And increasingly that was becoming things like adventures and filming. So I was like, what if I just tried to make filming the thing that I did as my business? And that experiment started in 2011 when I spent $1,000 on my first camera and then an additional $800 to build a computer. So it's like a $2,000 investment. And the experiment continues to this day. Yeah, it's gone through a lot of ups and downs and yeah. Yeah, decide the problem with like finding someone is also the challenge of having enough time because my life has been so unpredictable schedule wise, and that's been a priority to me. So if I had been able to find someone that could work remotely or work without my direct input, that would have been great. But I find that building up people often takes seasons of direct investment, and I haven't actually been able to find the time to do that, but maybe I should. Uh, how do you make your passion projects happen? Well, we've kind of been talking about it. I can dive into that a little bit more here, but I'm a little distracted with some more of these questions. What does a regular work week look like for you? I don't really have a regular work week at all. Dan's asking what if I get inspired by any films. Um, I'm probably the least movie. I'm probably the least movie goer type person that I know. I'm sorry, I'm distracted because YouTube's notifying that people are spamming, but it auto hit it. Good job, YouTube. Uh, I don't watch movies very often, and I'm not a movie buff, and I don't have like a wealth of knowledge on film history. Maybe I should brush up on that or something. But for me, a lot of inspiration just comes from filmmakers that I follow. And a lot of inspiration for me comes from Instagram stories where I'll be for some of the filmmakers that I follow and they just share stuff when they're out in the field just doing the work. And that's just incredibly inspiring for me when I see someone like put on a big backpack and just carrying the camera gear. My favorite outdoor filmmaker, if I had to name one, this is a tough call. I really like the Camp 4 Collective guys. They're like really, really up there for me. Yeah. I don't know if there's like any specific films that are like my go-to. That doesn't really answer your question then, I guess. Um, I guess I get inspiration from movies, but I don't watch enough and I don't watch enough of the interesting ones. Annie's asking, not super related, but what tattoos do I have? I've got a big boat that's in progress. Oh, geez, you can't see it there. There, can you see that? Sort of. There's a big boat on my arm. It's on a landscape, which isn't finished. It's not finished. How do I find clients? Well, clients find me. I put out work that is the type of stuff that I want to get hired for, and I do a good job at it. And if I put it out into the marketplace, uh, people find me and they say, "Hey, can you make that for me too?" And when I didn't have any examples, I went out and made my own examples for free. So what I did was I found a business that I really liked what they did, because people, if they find out you do video, you eventually get these emails like, "Hey, we don't have a budget, but will you do a video for us?" And why would you do that for a business that you don't like when you could decide to do it for a business that you do like? So that was something that I did. I found businesses that I liked and I said, "Hey, uh, I would love to make you guys a video. I love what you're about. Would you be willing to come under my filmmaking process so we can make you something awesome?" And oftentimes they say yes. And then I say, under one condition, you don't tell people that I did it for you for free. And if I did a good job, please recommend my services to other people. And that would make me really happy. And they oftentimes say yes. And then you take them under a process, which is, what video could we make for you that would make you money? What could we make visually that would drive you as a business sales? Because that's ultimately what videos for businesses are. It's marketing. So how do we know if this was successful or not? Because if you can make a video that's successful for the businesses that you're working with, that increases the chances that they're really happy that you made it. If you make a video that's just a promo video, that's just a nice to have, chances are they won't really know if it was successful. But if they know a certain problem they're trying to solve in their business and your video helps them solve that, and as a direct result, they can see sales and see profit, that makes them very happy. So that's what I did with a business for free, and just said, "Hey, don't tell people I did this for free. If you like it, brag about it afterwards." And the result of that is another business who saw that in the same field said, "Wow, that video is amazing." They asked who did it. They found my website. They sent me an email and they said, "The video you made for them, can you make that for us?" And I said, "Yes. Would you like to come under my process?" And they said, "For sure." And so I explained to them how we go about figuring out what kind of video we're going to make. And then we figure out how much it's going to cost. And then I pitch it to them, and then they either accept or decline. And that's how I went forward. And I got a lot of emails from people that weren't a great fit. And I said no to them because I only wanted to do work that was like the other kind of work that I wanted to do more of, if that makes sense. That's how I got my first projects. What is that little silver thing above your phone and next to your keyboard? A vape. No, it's an adapter to go from 3/8 to half, quarter, 3/8 to quarter with a socket set. Come on. Come on. Come on, GH5. You can do it. Oh, well, I give up. Do you use the finished minute quote model? I don't know what that model is. Maybe you could write it down. Pizza's here. Deep dish has bacon. Oh, geez. Come on. Hey, Levi, if you were to build your filmmaking kit from the ground up again, like you were just beginning, which camera would you choose and how would you build it? I don't know if I'd know the answer for which camera I would choose, because that depends on how much money I'm able to make from my side income to pay for it, because that's how I invested in my filmmaking gear to start. I had a part-time job and then I would save up money and spend it on camera gear. Basically, I would make sure I got just any camera body that records a nice image, which is basically any of them from 2014 forward. And I wouldn't spend more than $1,000 on it. And what I would spend my money on is getting two nice lenses, one that's tight, one that's wide, and make sure those are primes, and make sure I have a zoom lens in there. So 3 lenses, one that's kind of an all-around zoom lens, one that's a wider prime like a 24-1.4, and the one that's a tight prime like a 50-1.4. And then I would get a monopod and a microphone. So that's probably like 2.5 grand. Yep. That's what I would do. I would do it all over again. Hello from Argentina. Which camera are you currently using? Which picture profile do you use? This is the GH5. This is the camera I use right now because it records at 4K, 60 frames per second, and has a stabilized sensor. And I'm using the standard profile for this live stream, but I shoot in the natural profile with everything turned down. I have an A6300 actually. Oh, hey, let's talk about 100K. I was trying to get enough stuff together for a giveaway, and I'm not quite there yet. I have my old A6300, which I thought would be fun to give away, but I was also trying to get my kit together for like a gimbal giveaway because I have a bunch of gimbal accessories. So maybe I should Yeah, maybe I should get a giveaway thing together at some point soon. That'd be sweet. And I should announce that soon because when I hit 100K, I'm going to re-release my first film on YouTube. 100K. When I what? I'm going to re-release my film when I hit 100K. It's going to be awesome. Rhett is asking goals for 2019. I've got some goals. I'm probably not going to share all of them because that's not really how I roll. I don't really share my goals because I think if you share your goals, it makes you feel like you've already accomplished them, and that makes you feel good without actually having to do it. What is my exact sub count? Like my dad just texted it to me. I think it's 99,020. I think. Um, Goals for 2019. I would like to make more on YouTube. That's probably a goal that's worth sharing because it's one that I want to be held accountable for. I would like to find additional ways to make more revenue so that way I take on less client work next year. Client work's really draining for me, especially as a solo filmmaker. And because I don't want to build a team around doing client work, I would like to do less of it. Yeah. Okay, so Redia Co is asking finished minute quote is how much it costs to produce 1 minute of finished video. All my clients request it, and it's been sort of a different to build quotes that way. Um, uh, no, I don't quote like that at all. Actually, how I quote with my clients is we figure out what would be the most effective things to make for them, and then I make them a proposal of how much it would cost to make those things. For example, in my proposal, I might say, so the best thing to make is this video, which would be around 2.5, 3.5 minutes. And it's going to cost a total price tag of $6,666. And that's the total cost. And if you want me to do it, that's what it's going to take. And if you don't want it, then no, that's not exactly how it goes. Basically, if they don't want to do that scale, then we have to come up with a solution that's less scope, so less big. So maybe it's shorter. I don't know. But I don't ever quantify the time length of a video because that seems absurd. Because if you're going to make a commercial, I would charge way more to make a 45-second commercial for a brand like Coca-Cola than I would to make a story documentary for, a non-for-profit. Yep. Which Mavic 2 did you end up keeping? Both. I do like the Pro the most, though. I've decided that much. I do like the Pro quite a bit, but I like the flexibility the zoom gives me to get shots that look differently. Yep. Do you still run every day? I'm not running every day because running every day broke my body, which everyone said it did, and it did, and I knew it would. And I decided that every day is not what I want to do for my normal routine, but that's what I had to do to get as fast as Casey for one run. Now I run on average 2 or 3 times a week, and I try to hit around 20 miles. But I'm very not super strict about it. I do it because I love it. And I actually do enjoy it quite a bit. I was going to go on a nice trail run tonight. Yeah. I guess Jason's making fun of my 666 number, 6,666. Is that, are you making fun of the size of the number or the fact that I picked 666 off my ADD brain for some reason? I guess I could have picked $7,777.77. I usually quote so usually if it was going to be like around $5,000, I would quote it as like 5,600 just because I feel like 5,500, 5,600 is basically the same number. Question: how was it meeting your fellow Canadian Shawn Mendes? It was cool. He's a really nice guy. I think I definitely gained respect for him because I got to see how he interacted with his fans, and it's really cool. He seems like a really legit and humble dude. So I respect that. I didn't really have any clue who he was beforehand. Oh, geez. Did you update the GH5? Maybe. I can't remember. I'm not really on top of that these days. Are you still shooting on the GH5? Yes. So how do you make your passion projects happen? That's a great question. So that's kind of what I titled this live stream. And so I'll take a moment to address that specifically. For me, if I don't put it on the calendar, I won't make space for it. And that's kind of the model that I implemented from the beginning, which is uh, if I'm going to run a production company, I want to make sure that during the year, I'm working on projects that I actually want to make. Because other people around me seem to have this attitude that, oh, you just got to serve the clients and we don't have time to do things that we like. And I didn't think that was true. I just thought, the only reason why you're caught up on client work is because you keep booking more client work and you never make space for your own stuff. And I think making your own stuff serves a lot of benefits. It helps keep you creatively sane, but it also proves a great chance of actually getting hired to do more work that is like the work that you're doing as your passion project. So right from the beginning of starting my company, I said, I don't want to start this company unless I like kick it off with a bang of making my own passion short film. That ended up turning into a 30-minute documentary. But the way that I shot that was I decided every 6 weeks, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to wrap up whatever I need to wrap up. And then I'm going to spend the 7th week just shooting something for me, kind of just taking like the Sabbath model, but applying it to weeks, and kind of calling these like sabbatical filming weeks. And for me, I've basically done that consistently where every 6 weeks I'll stop, pause, and then on the 7th, 8th week or so, do something that's just for me. And sometimes that looks like actually going into the mountains and shooting a project. And so every year there's about 3 or 4 times that I'll take off and for about a week and shoot something just for myself. And the way that I make this happen is I put it on the calendar. I say I'm going to go do this and I don't book work for then. And then I just go do it and no one pays me to do it. I find I'm able to do it surprisingly cheap if I just live simply. And yeah, I mean, I don't think our passion projects cost as much as we say they do. We have this concept that if only we had access to thousands of dollars to spend on our passion projects, they would be better. No, I think we just need a camera that works that we could borrow from someone and a microphone and a computer to edit on, and you just go out and make it. And forcing myself into that routine has been the best decision I've made with Leftcoast. And so that's how I started the business. I borrowed cameras from other people and went out and shot my passion work on about 8-week intervals. And yeah, so basically that's how I shot my first film. And then I ended up editing the rough cut of the film 8 weeks later during another one of these focused sabbatical blocks. It's how I shot the Slack Life series. It's how I've shot stuff in Utah. It's how a lot of these projects that are really important to me happen is because I put them on my calendar. And it's scary. It's scary to say no to paid work and go do work for myself. But that was a priority for me from the beginning. And then how do you actually finish and really finish? Is that finish? Finish. How do you actually finish and then go out and release this stuff? Well, for me, again, something that's very helpful is setting a personal deadline. So knowing by this date, I want to have the project done. And sometimes I've completely missed those deadlines. And it's honestly kind of devastating. I take it very hard on myself when I don't make my own deadlines. And that's really frustrating for me. But if I didn't set the deadlines, then I'd probably never get it done. And so we're coming up on the end of 2018 and I had some deadlines that I wanted to hit and I'm not hitting them. And I'm having to say, I'm going to unplug and go spend time with family. And that's really tough for me because I really wanted to get it done. But I know if I didn't release it and say it's okay to not have it done, I'd be anxious about it throughout the entire time that I'm with my family. And that's not something that I want either. So it's this interesting balance where I'm really hard on myself for not making good on my commitments. And so I tend to try to be careful about which commitments I actually make to myself. But I think the flip side of that is if I never made those personal commitments, I don't know if I would in any sort of fashion be completing things. The truth is when you work for yourself and it's your own schedule and you're in charge of your life, I encounter weeks where I have almost zero motivation to do anything, which is kind of absurd because it feels like there's so much opportunity. And this idea of being constantly motivated and constantly driven and making use of every second, I don't do that. And I end up in a melancholic state if I enforce that type of mindset, saying that if I don't do that, then I'm a bad person and I'm flawed. So all that to say, setting personal deadlines really helps, and putting it on the calendar that I'm going to go make a thing then has been big for me. Yeah, Cameron McCabe saying personal deadlines carry more weight when you make them public as well. This is very true. And that's kind of one of these unspoken, people sometimes say like, oh, you make your YouTube upload schedule public. I don't really have a public schedule, but usually I try to upload every week. And when it goes 2 weeks without me uploading, I start to feel very weird. And so I try to stay on top of that. Will I upload this as a vid later on? Probably not. I think I'm just going to keep it as unlisted. I'm going to try to do a proper live stream maybe tomorrow or something like that. Yeah, I am Ashton Kutcher. Yep. What's your passion project versus client work ratio? That's Matt Hoffman. I think it's about 50-50, Matt. If you counted YouTube as a passion project, then it's definitely 50-50. Which means I work a lot. Yeah. It'd be great if some of the passion stuff I did, I guess, and then that would transfer over. But my work for clients and then my work for myself is about 50-50. Which is great because this past year was our biggest year as a company, but it also was, I didn't hit some of my personal goals, which was tough. What kind of project do I prefer? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. As far as a happy medium between client and passion projects, what do you think about the stock footage industry? I would be totally for uploading a lot of my footage to stock websites. Part of the issue is that takes a concentrated period of time to collect that footage, and I haven't done it. How many hours do I put in per week? It's not the same. Typically, let me think about this. Typically, it'd be, maybe someone can tally these hours for me. Usually I work about a 12-hour day on a work day. And then on a not work day, it's like 6 hours. And the weeks vary. So I go through intense periods where it's 8 to 8 every day for multiple days in a row. And then there's days where I just really pull back and don't do that. So I don't know if there's an accurate number on that. I would say that I do work often, as that can tend to happen with people that run YouTube channels and businesses. It can tend to be a pretty full-on week sometimes. But then I also am a big fan of just play and having fun. So then I try to do that as well. I'm trying to work really hard, but also be intentional about taking really smart breaks and just enjoying not doing anything. But truthfully, if I had like a 4-week period to edit something, what that looks like is a very interesting. When I'm in editing mode, it's a very interesting thing because I spend so much time thinking about it, but I have a really hard time narrowing down and getting focus. Yeah, Braden, I understand what black box is, but part of the problem is actually getting the footage to black box in the first place because I have a lot and it takes a long time. Yep. What is Article 13? What about Article 13? Is that the Europe law with copyright stuff? What's your process on knowing when a video edit is done? I don't know if I have a process for that. I know some people that will sit on a finished edit and just sit on it for a while and then refine, and it's like a done edit. Usually I don't do that. I'm not that type of editor. Usually I get to like a rough draft and then I restructure, and then polish. So I usually will go through about 3 restructuring phases once it's playable. Yeah. Patrick's asking, love to hear what specifically is making you desire less client work. The editing. I just despise editing client work, which makes it sound so obvious that I need to hire an editor. But I don't want to run a business that is making videos for clients. I want to run a business that is focused around making short films that I want to make. So I don't really want to build a team that's focused on making client work. I want to build a team that's focused on helping me make the kind of work that I think I'm best suited to make, which is outdoor stuff. What is my dream camera? A big sensor, and also the capabilities to be a small sensor. So that way you could use small lenses and big lenses. 4K, 120 frames per second, raw recording internally to an SD card with a stabilized sensor. Yep. Double O dude. Hey, Levi, do you feel stable with your career? That's an interesting question. I would not define my career as traditionally stable in any sense of the word. My wife would not define my career as stable in any sense of the word. But I make a full-time income making videos, and that's such a thrill. So no, I would not say this is traditionally stable, but I don't think that doing the traditional career route anymore is as stable as people perceive it to be, as the global and national levels of economies are rapidly changing, and the job landscape is, no one knows where it's going to land with automation. I think that being in the creative field, working for yourself, is one of the most stable things in the long term that I can think of doing, especially because I'm willing to do hands-on work if it comes down to it. If I need to get a job in the trades, I'm so willing to do that. I'm so willing to work for someone else if it comes down to it. And so I don't have a whole lot of pride there. So, yep. The Brown Owl. Levi, I'm a budding photographer and YouTuber. I recently moved to Toronto. A few words on finding motivation, inspiration, and keeping up the hustle. I suck at keeping up the hustle. I'm not great at it at all, any stretch of the imagination. So you might want to ask maybe Gary V on how to keep the hustle up. But I find motivation through how do I find motivation? That's a fantastic question. I actually don't know the answer to that. It's a combination of the expectations that I place on what I believe my abilities are. So it has a lot to do with how I think about myself. So what I mean by that is, once I've realized I'm capable of something, I tend to hold myself to a standard that's a notch or two above that, and I'm striving to get there. And that's very motivating for me, where people see the level that I'm currently creating at and they go, wow, that's this level. And I see a level above and I go, no, I want to get here. And so that's very motivating for me to keep creating. Yeah. Copyright, deleting all copyright videos. I don't really understand Article 13. I haven't really looked into it, so I'm a terrible person to talk about it. Thoughts on Lumix S1 and the S1R? I think they're really neat. I think they're photography focused. I'm excited to see what a video focused version of that would look like. I don't know. I'm going on a backpacking trip for the first time, and your adventures are super inspiring. Thanks, Olivia. I really appreciate that. Hey, I just want to say it's great having you all here. I really enjoy this. I wish that I had been able to upload more in the past 2 weeks. I'm really thrilled by the response to my gratitude video. That's the kind of video that I envision myself making when I'm at my best. And to put a message like that out there into the world makes me, I'm proud. I'm grateful that I can't say I'm grateful for making a video about gratitude. Come on. Oh, yeah. I'm thrilled to make something like that. I truly am behind that message, and it's an important one to me. And to make a video that's thought out like that and put it out there and have people respond positively to it, and like the comments kind of were insane on that. So positive, and so many people saying that it resonated with them. So I'm just thrilled. All right. I guess I would get a silver play button. That thought had not crossed my mind recently. I bet it takes them like months to do that. I bet it'll be like December next year and I'll get a play button or something. David Moore, thanks for the kind words, man. It's fun seeing you in the comments, in the chat. John Luna, it would be great to meet you someday as well. I'd love that. I wonder where and how. Um, Levi, absolutely. This is the Brown Owl again. Thanks for the super chats. I really appreciate it. I loved your gratitude video, but how did you get here? Adventure filmmaking. How did you decide that's what you wanted to do? I did talk about that previously in this chat, in this live stream already, probably before you popped in. So maybe I'll leave this unlisted and you can go back and listen to that again. Because that topic is really big. How did I get here? I got here by seeing a version of events in the future that I wanted to bring to life and working actively towards doing things that are not that, not doing things that aren't that, and trying to make the types of decisions that I thought would bring out those outcomes, and then modifying those decisions when they weren't bringing the outcomes that I thought they would. So it's less about what is the goal and more of a what are my processes and decisions? What are they currently bringing about in my life? And if they aren't bringing what I want, what could I change so that way they would? Hey, Curtis, what's up? What other passions do I have? I actually have heaps and bunches of passions. That was probably one of the hardest things as a teenager, was trying to decide which ones to focus on, and maybe which one to turn into a career. So technically, filmmaking has been one of the longest standing career motivated passions that I've had. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like the filmmaking thing for me is career motivated. I think some people feel shame saying that. Um, I spend a lot of time on my videos because I know that I want to do this for like my job. If I made videos just for me, just for my passion, well, that sounds weird. If I made videos just for the sake of making videos, I don't know if I would make videos that are as good, to be honest. Because I have a lot of just random hobbies that I don't bother getting any good at because they're just random hobbies. Do you have a dream project that you're striving to shoot in the future? Currently, I don't. Currently, I just want to get my Slack Life series done, and then I'm going to think about future projects. Right now, a big goal to me is doing a van build video series, and then travel for a bit with my wife because we've been working very hard in the past 3 years, and we've been looking forward to doing that. And I'm going to kind of just feel it out. Maurice is asking if I'm going to be doing any workshops in 2019. In January, I'm launching my how to build a filmmaking business workshop, which will be just a video workshop that you buy and watch as video. And then I'll be doing some live ones as well. So, oh, Josiah says it's quick. That's good. One thing about, okay, so Patrick's saying one thing to think about with forming a team could be the benefit on the front end. Having someone close to you in the filmmaking process early on could help the edit before you even touch the mouse. Oh, I'm not arguing against the benefits of having a good editor, but I will say to have good editors, they cost a lot of money. So building a team is tough if you have a very irregular work process. So it's not as simple. Otherwise, I might have done it already. Wow, there's so many great questions, you guys. I'm having a lot of fun here. Thanks for hanging out. Can you link the gratitude video? No, just go to my YouTube channel and watch the latest one. Sorry, Kevin. All right, Levi, thanks for all the advice and awesome content you put out. Love from Malaysia. Hope you might drop by for a workshop here one day. I'd love to do a workshop in Malaysia. That'd be great. What do you think about the next era or season of YouTube is going to look like? It's been heavy vlogging for the past several years. What's next for you? I don't know if I would say it's been heavy vlogging. Would you say it's been heavy vlogging? I wouldn't say it's been heavy vlogging. I would say there's been vlogging. I would say some of the videos that I put out in the last half of this year are less vlogging and more closer to what I probably hope I would make, which is some more carefully thought out videos. And that honestly did start around the Casey Neistat series, the running series. Some of those videos, I tried to make them feel very much different. Olivia's asking, any little daily things that keep you on track? Massive volumes of coffee, waking up at a certain time. I wish that I could be like the people that had these like super robust routines. And that has been one of the biggest goals of my life that I've constantly failed at over and over and over again, is having like a solid routine. And it's been something that I've so desperately wanted, but I constantly fail at. So I don't know if I have a great answer to that. If I said my routine was going perfectly, then I've got an excellent answer, which is wake up at 6, read a book, journal about the day, journal for gratitude, do 20 minutes of silence, have the tea, then have the coffee, then go on a little run, then get to the studio at 8:30. But that's not my normal life. Oh, I've been to Northern BC. My dad's actually from Terrace. Wesley, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that. Oh, hey, since there's 120 of you in here, maybe I should ask a question now. So, how do I word that? It seems so weird to finally say out loud. So, how do I guess I say it. Because you guys are all hanging out, maybe I'll throw this idea by you and see what you think. Basically, I've had this idea of trying to run some sort of, well, I'll take it back a notch. So, Cameron McCabe, are you still hanging out here? I keep coughing because I did a lot of sawing today and I got saw in my throat, sawdust. You're further north than Terrace. Where are you then? Dean? Why are ketchup chips so good? That's a great question. How do you have balance working 12 hours? Well, I don't. I don't work 12 hours every day. I don't. I absolutely do not do that. I have some weeks where I work 12-hour days and then some weeks where I work 4 hours a day. Yep. Okay. So I've been planning on starting a Patreon once I hit 100K. And I didn't just want a Patreon where it's like, sign up for my Patreon and you get the exclusive Patreon feed and support me. I've been planning on starting a Patreon and having basically one main level, which is the Make Stuff Club. And that would be if you wanted to hang out with other people in a chat room and chat about making things and have more interaction with people on a daily basis, this would be the place and the way to do that. So basically, there's a few options of what to use as a chat room, but the concept would be during the week, during the months, if you're trying to reach a goal and you need a community to get there with, that's what I'd be trying to facilitate, a place that would help make that happen. For me, this is something that I joined a business community when I was just getting into YouTube, and having access to other people that were trying to make this happen, to trying to start businesses, made a big impact on me and made a big impact on my ability to stay motivated. And I've been wanting a place like that, but it's for filmmakers and people that make stuff. So yeah, so basically my options are Discord or Slack or a custom built solution on my WordPress, on a WordPress server. So that's what I've been thinking. So that way in the future, I took monetization off my videos because it wasn't making a difference and I didn't like it. And I don't want to have ads on my videos because I hate ads. So why would I put ads on my videos? But I wanted to do something similar to what creator down in California, Matt Diavella, does, which is say, hey, like, this video is brought to you by the Make Stuff Club, and you can join it by going to makestuff.club. Yeah. Which reminds me, Oh, crap. Did I buy that domain or did someone else? I just had this moment in my head where I was like, I don't know if I actually got that domain. Dang, someone has that one. That's too bad. So I'll have to come up with a new one. Anyhow, that was random. Yep. Yeah, but so ads don't mean less client work because I don't make much money from ads. So it's like a lose-lose. Um, what was I going to do here real quick? I was going to do something. Oh, that's what it was. Right. Our team, I'm distracted, but I'm going to take care of this real quick so that way my idea doesn't get ruined. Okay. I'll come back to you there. I don't need privacy protection. No thanks. No thanks. No thanks. Continue. Hey, I'm buying these domains. Cool. And then I will tell you what they are. Complete purchase. Yikes, that's expensive. Processing. Okay. So I just bought makestuff.community. So in the future, in 2019, I'm going to say that my videos at like maybe at different points, I'll say, hey, so this video is brought to you by the makestuff.community. The Makers Club. That's actually pretty good. The makersclub.co though. I'm not, I just love .com. The make stuff. The makestuff.club. The makestuff.com. Make stuff club. Oh geez, guys. I just put a lot of domains into the cart. The Make Stuff Club. The Makers Club. I was thinking about getting a .club domain. Yeah, I mean, so I don't understand what the letters are in front of your name. Nick, I'd buy domains for projects and then they often just redirect to subdomains. Just because it's really fun to have. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in 2019, that's going to be something that I'm going to run. And the idea of having it being a paid community is that it limits who's in it and the people who are in it really want to be there. I find that that's important for creating an atmosphere where people are intentional and invest in each other. Because it's not just about being able to chat with me personally. Like I find that's a good drawing point to get people in the door. But what ends up being really special is the interaction between other people in the group. And I really love this sense of connecting with other people around the world that are making things. Uh, how much do you think it would cost? So that was the other struggle. There's got to be, because I don't know how many people total. Basically, I'd love to find a way to have a Patreon income that was around. Okay, so I'll throw this by you. I would do an intro level that was around $10 a month. So that would be like the founders group. And the people who jumped in at the founders group would be, they'd get that price point for life. And that would maybe be 50 or 100 people at most. And beyond that, it'd maybe be like $14. Yeah, I find the price point's tough because if you have it at $1 or like $2, then it doesn't really then it's not a high enough barrier of entry to be, it's not a high enough barrier of entry to be truly separate people who aren't interested in investing in themselves and people who are. So it's a little tough there. Be careful with Patreon, of course. That's why I would use a different domain and just have the subscription processing be through Patreon. think Patreon still has value in the sense that people trust it and understand what it means. So therefore, so therefore, having my own custom built solution on my website would be not as trust. Basically, when someone's deciding to put their money into a monthly thing, it's helpful if it has more. Yeah, I don't really want to get into that. Yeah, I know Squarespace does subscriptions. That's a great point, Matt. What do you think about that price point, Matt? I guess the community would be positioned at people who want to be filmmakers or start YouTube channels, and also people that would benefit from being in a community of other people making things. And there'd be stuff that goes along with that, like monthly Q&As, weekly Q&As, I don't know, something like that. But the main value would be getting the right people in the right place. Matt, what would you think? What would you think would be too many people, and what do you think would be too few? People are losing trust in Patreon. They banned an engineer in China over a non-Patreon related issue with Vice. I don't know so I would agree that there's probably some people that are skeptical of Patreon, but I don't know if on a whole they're downtrending with trust. I think they're still up climbing with trust. There's still a lot of really trusted people that use it and still trust it. So what's up, Kinotika? Dave? 200 people max. Yeah, that's a great point, Scott. And I've honestly, in some of the communities I've been in the past, I've found that they might have 200 to 500 members, but the amount of people that are hanging in there at a given time is like 20 to 50. And I think around 20 to 50 is a really special number, because not everyone likes being active. But if the number gets too high, then they feel really shy to jump in because they don't want to say stuff that's not valuable. So thanks for brainstorming this with me, guys, in the tail end of this stream. So yeah, I think I'm going to go forward with this. And there'd be a coaching tier. So I don't know exactly what I would call that, but basically it'd be something really similar to what my buddy Jesse Driftwood did, which is on his Patreon, he has a level that's like $100 or something like that, or $79. And if people buy at that tier, they can submit videos that he would then film himself giving feedback on after watching it. Yeah. Was the No Small Creator group hosted on Discord? What was that? What was that on? Oh, Dave's in there as Kinotika and Dave. Dave, you're killing it. I don't know how you do that. Actually, I do know how you do that, but anyhow. Yeah, Facebook isn't a great place to host groups because it's like an Alcoholics Anonymous that meets at a bar. I find in Facebook groups that I've been a part of, especially ones that are closed. It's tough because it's like it just pulls your distraction to other places. What didn't you like about Discord, Justin? I don't mind it. Yeah. I mean, as a chat app, my favorite one is Slack, but I think there's some integrations in Discord that Justin, would you say your experience with Discord was based on the types of groups, or was it the actual functionality of the interface? Jake, thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. I like Slack too, but I don't know if it's built as well for what I'm going to try to do, which is more of a membership model. Yep. Have I tried out the Osmo Pocket? No. Do you want to send me yours? I haven't. I don't know. I kind of get like super apathetic about cameras that are coming out. I just don't care sometimes. And then sometimes I do care. Yeah. Right. So Justin, it's the gaming atmosphere. So if there's like a filmmaker specific Discord chat that if you knew you logged into it was people that are focused on being encouraging and giving quality feedback, would that be something that you'd be more interested in? Oh, you don't like the interface. Dang. Okay. Well, I'll still do a little bit more research in that, but right now I am leaning the most towards the Discord, kind of. because it has a Patreon integration. Or Dave, you could just hop on a plane and come up. Scott's saying he prefers the message board format. I think that is a good idea. I was trying to figure out how to have both of them coexist, where there could be a message board where there's posts and threads, and then there's a place where people can just hang out and be like, yo, it's the morning. What are you guys working on today? Oh, I'm working on this. I think, and I was just nervous about making it too complicated. I was a part of a community that had both and eventually just went all in on the chat. And that became the main focus because that's where most people hung out. I like the idea of having it feel like a coffee shop, like people checking in, logging in, seeing what other people are up to, and then going and getting into work. Hey, Tim, thanks for stopping by. Just join the stream. What is this? That's a great question. I started talking about how to make your passion projects happen, and now we're just chatting about how to make paid communities happen. Oh, we could talk about other things. Are you going to CES? Nope, I don't go to CES. Yep. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. What if the message board forum was free and the Discord was the paid place? Yeah. I should do a workshop in Tofino. That would be a good idea. Patreon is cool, but I think the Skype call you once offered was the ultimate. But then again, I strongly dislike subscriptions. I don't know how it was on your end. Yeah, Curtis. So thanks for that feedback. So Curtis was one of the I don't know what the total number was, but for a while on my website, I had an offering where people could buy a Skype call for an hour. And I really enjoyed doing that because I really liked connecting. I love connecting one-on-one with people. And so maybe Curtis, it could be a combination thing. Maybe it could be, maybe I create a coaching package where someone could pay a certain level and get several in-person Skype calls with me, and they pay once. And if they do that level, then they get access to the chat for free if they want it forever. I guess it's technically not free then because they paid for it. So that way it wouldn't be subscription, but if you paid for this like coaching package, then you would have access to hang out with these other creators in the same space. But then if you didn't want to pay for the coaching package, you could just hop right in the live chat and hang out and get, yeah, maybe that would be something that I do in the future. But I do know that at the current size of the YouTube channel, if I said, hey, $100 Skype chats tomorrow, I just know that I would become overwhelmed very quickly. Very, very quickly. Braxton, yo, Levi, I found you through Colin and Samir. How did you find me through Colin and Samir? Was that because I don't think I was ever in a video of theirs? Did they say something about the channel or something? Breakdown team and help launch the show in the summer. On the topic of YouTube monetization, what are your thoughts on YouTube's join feature? Oh, hey, that's another interesting thought, but maybe I could add that on the channel or something like that. I haven't put tons of thought into it, to be honest. I don't like Patreon and I don't like the join feature. I don't like either of them that much, but I think that they're a necessary evil. Yeah, Jason, that's a great point. So I did up the Skype chats, but I did want to make sure that it was a more tangible way to provide value through it than just, yeah, I don't know. I should do that again. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of doing like paid webinars or things like that more. I do like the one-on-one stuff. Wow, I think my attention is waning a little bit, and I'm getting a little bit more ADD as the chat goes further along. But Tim, I don't know the dates for filming trips in 2019 yet. But it's definitely an investment. Yeah, Justin's saying I usually charge $150 and usually decline them anyhow due to their projects. Yeah, that's usually due to other projects. Congrats on being part of the Braxton. Congrats on being part of the breakdown team. That sounds very interesting. Been following you for a while. Always great stuff. Much love from Minneapolis. Hello. Any pain issues getting started on your running? Been going after it, but running into knee pain. Yeah, I definitely had pain issues after 16 weeks of running 16 weeks of running basically every day straight. So that's why I stopped for like a month. um, I don't know the answer to it. Do lots of stretching, listen to your body, don't break yourself. Yeah. I mean, I don't know when's the last time that I talked actively about this, but uh like I've been working on like adventure film masterclass online course for a while. And that would include modules on how to run a business, modules on how to find a story, modules on how to edit a story, modules on how to build a personal brand. And I've just been so caught up with client work and passion projects of my own that I've had a very hard time making progress on this course. And so in 2018, I did more live in-person workshops than I ever did before, and I was grateful for those. But I've been meaning to make this course for a while and I haven't. And this would also be something that would be a great business model for me, is to have that course done and out there, because I think it would be truly, really helpful for the people that would want to take it. Kind of like a masterclass style course. But can I get a shout out for Phil Hazard? James, are you currently with Phil Hazard? Why are you asking for a shout out for Phil? Of course. Shout out for Phil Hazard. Um, He's someone that I worked with at a youth group on Vancouver Island ages ago. Ages? Not necessarily ages, probably 4 years ago. Could you do an editing course? Maybe. Love how you've been telling a story in the Slack Life series. What advice and resources would you recommend for storytelling with filmmaking? Um, I don't know if I have a good resource on that. I'm trying to make one. Sorry, it's not out yet. Yeah, I really should. That's so, Tim, that's a great suggestion, splitting it into mini modules. Are you saying making it more achievable for me to finish it, or making it more achievable for someone to watch it? Um, Either way, I just did basically a module of my course through Story and Heart, and on Story and Heart, sorry, super distracted there for a moment. Story and Heart's going to release a course from me on building a business. So, yep. Creator.leftcoast.co. Get it rolling. What am I doing on creator.leftcoast.co? I forget. Please do. I would take the course. The course would be amazing. I've used Linda and have loved the format, but the content isn't amazing. Cheers, Justin. Thanks for hanging out, man. Really appreciate it. Just thought you could utilize the wave of new year, new me people to get a fresh source of paid Skype subscriptions, webinar purchases. Yeah, I was actually planning on launching the Make Stuff Club, Make Stuff community very soon here. What car do you drive? I have a Sprinter van, Dave, and we have a family car, which is a Volvo wagon. And that's a good way to get ahead from my chat forever. Misogynistic comments. Just thought you could utilize, what car do you drive? Just saying hi and congratulations on the journey so far. Thank you. And the Brown Owl, thank you again for another super chat. One last super chat. Thanks. You inspire us. Congratulations in advance for 100K. Thank you. So glad I caught you on here. What's up, Janae? Is that how you say that? Janae? I don't know. No incels, please. Yeah. That was hilarious, by the way, that comment. Yikes. I hope that was a 13-year-old. As a creator, I often get overwhelmed. For me personally, I'm in the same boat. Do small sections in a mini course form, so that way massive course isn't as big of a thing. Yep. Janae, I pronounced it correctly. That's amazing. Thanks, Justin. I think anyhow. Okay, team. I've got some work I got to do tonight. This has been a blast. I am very energized by interacting with you, and this is something that I value deeply. So thanks for hanging out. Uh, yeah, I think I gotta go. um, Trying to think of what sentiment to finish on. I should upload this week. I don't know if I'm going to make it because it's Wednesday and I'm leaving on a vacation with my family on Friday. Aiko and Emil, my advice for YouTube burnout is when I'm feeling burnt out with YouTube, I just stop making on YouTube. For instance, for the last 2 weeks, I didn't upload because I was distracted with other things. And so I don't hold myself too tightly against it. Anyhow, this has been a heap of a blast, and I just want to thank you for hanging out with me. I'll probably just make this unlisted, so if you want to come back and reference it, maybe if you got a notification, you can still get back into it. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Man, it's a mess in here. If you saw how messy, jeez Louise, guys, it's bad. It's real bad. Okay, if I don't chat to you guys before Christmas, take care. Have a great one, and we'll be in touch soon. Peace.